अजूनी सैपं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Japji Sahib, also known in the old ancient Tatkaras, written as Jap Nisan. This Bani is the first Bani inside of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Sache Paatshah. And it has a beautiful meaning. It has wondrous, you can say powers, because Gurbani altogether is the form of God. And the root of all Bani is Japji Sahib. It is the Mool Bani, meaning the root Bani, the origin of Bani. A way to look at it is Japji Sahib is the origin or the root of all Gurbani inside of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So, you can consider it that all Gurbani relates back to Japji Sahib. All of Japji Sahib relates back to Mool Mantar. It's like it's stemming out from one. Just like the world is all of God, all of Vaheguru Paramatma, omnipresent, and you are that form, but we've forgotten that. We're separated because of this illusion, because of our ego. Ultimately, it is all one. Even if you go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, and furthermore, everything will go back to one. In the same way, Japji Sahib is what's stemming all of Gurbani. Why is it important for every Gursikh, not only just Gursikh, but everyone in the world to be reading and understanding Japji Sahib? Absolutely, it's important. If you're a Gursikh, first of all, it's part of your Nityanem, it's part of your daily routines. But let's discuss this more. Japji Sahib is known to be the staircase to Brahm Gyan. It's the stairs to enlightenment. Japji Sahib is written in Paudiyan, which are different stanzas. But Paudiyan in Punjabi also means stairs. That's why Mahampurkhs, saints, have called Japji Sahib the staircase to enlightenment. Because at the beginning, you can even look at the meanings of it. At the beginning, the very first Paudi is talking about getting rid of hypocritical acts and focusing on living in intuitive love and within the will of God, living within the acceptance of God's will, and furthermore stemming into the states of mind of accepting, of listening, of acting upon, of application, stemming all the way to the door of God, where you sit outside God's door and you view and you vision all of these things. Next, it goes through the five realms until it reaches that state, that place where it's just one omnipresent God with no duality. And those that reach there, that recite God's name, Jini Naam Te Aya Gaye Masakat Kal Nanak Te Mukhujle Kiti Shutti Nal, those that implement God's name within their heart, they travel all the way, they travel through this journey of merging with God, and then they reach that and then they're liberated. It is the staircase to liberation. It is the staircase to enlightenment, to bliss, to eternal love, to infinity. That's why Japji Sahib is mandatory for every Gursikh. Now, there is a code of conduct that's given to Gursikhs, that Gursikh should be reading this every single day. It's written in the Rahatname of Gursikhs that bin jap jap jape bina jehve jo prasad, that person, that Gursikh, who without reading Japji Sahib and without reading Jap Sahib, these two Baniyan that are part of the Nityanem, the daily prayers of a Gursikh, out of the 5 morning prayers, these two, whoever eats food, whoever eats anything, their breakfast, their lunch, brunch, whatever you want to call it, any morsel of food goes into their mouth without reading Japji Sahib and Jap Sahib, that person, they say, so vishta ka kirm hoye, janm gavayo baad. That person wastes their entire life away because they're equivalent to vishta ka kida, which means a small insect, a small bug from gandagi, from dirt, filth. That's how Guru Sahib or these Gursikhs, they compare. That's the importance. If you read Gurbani, you can reach liberation. If you don't, then you waste it away. But look how important it is. We think that putting food on our table is the most important thing. We think that, oh, we got to drive a truck, we got to become an accountant, we got to get a job. And all of these things are vital to survival. But no. Those things, yes, I agree, they are important. And you have to do them. You have to make the efforts to get them. But all of that means absolutely nothing if you prioritize them before reading Gurbani. Japji Sahib and Jap Sahib. Bin Jap Jap Jape Bina Jehve Jo Prasad. The person who reads Japji Sahib and Jap Sahib after they eat food, the person who eats food prior to reading this Bani, they've wasted their life away. They've prioritized something else. That's how important it is. As soon as you wake up early in the morning, you do Ishnan and you read Gurbani. Your Gurbani is the breath of your life. And Japji Sahib is the root of all of these things. Now, if we look into more historical accounts, they say that Japji Sahib, if I'm just going to look into some of these texts, Japji Sahib is the true word recited by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Paatshah. Absolute true, coming from the root origin. It's not, you can't consider it the words of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Gurbani, this Japji Sahib, is from the origin of where creation comes from Paramatma themselves. It's not coming from any other intellect. Why is this Japji Sahib recited? It's recited, it's here for us so we can be liberated. Jagat Udaran Karane. To liberate the world from their pains and from their ego. That's why this command came from the true origin. And what should a Gursikh, what should every person do with this command? They should wake up early in the morning and they should read Japji Sahib early in the morning after doing Ishnan. Then they should implement this Japji Sahib inside of their mind, inside of their intellect. Because if they do that with true love, when they go into God's court, they'll be treated with respect. Dargah Pave Man. You go into this court and you're treated with respect, you're treated royally. Jamman Marana Kattiya, this whole cycle of birth and death. That's what Gurbani does. Gurbani, Japji Sahib has the power to cut away all karma of yours. It can cut away your fate. It can cut away the cycle of you being born and dying, that pain that's involved in that. You're completely liberated from this cycle. That's the power of this Bani. Whoever focuses on this Gurbani, this Japji Sahib with true love, with true focus, whoever focuses on that, they're liberated. And then as whoever recites this over and over again, grows their love daily, that person receives the true treasures of life. Not just the bliss and the luxuries of life that you might think of, the true luxuries. Through this Japji Sahib, you receive that. And then whoever focuses on this with true love, through this Japji Sahib, they receive Waheguru themselves. They receive Bhagavan. And then day and night you should be reciting this Japji Sahib. Whoever recites it, they should be able to memorize it. Whoever has it memorized, they should be able to focus in their mind on this Japji Sahib and read it throughout the day as many times as possible. Grow their love, dive deeper into it. That person, they receive the true blessings of Waheguru Paramatma. They have the true insignia or the true destiny written on their forehead. Whoever recites Japji Sahib in this way. And they receive all the blessings of happiness within this world. And Guru Sahib, Paramatma, Waheguru God is truly merciful upon them. They receive and they can experience the true mercy, the true bliss of Paramatma. These are things, the praise written of Japji Sahib. And then when we look further into this, Pyareo, that person this is written in Garb Ganjani Tika, that person that doesn't read Japji Sahib, the person that doesn't memorize Japji Sahib, look at that. They say, Sikh Guru ka hoye gayo, Japji kanth na keen. That person who considers themselves to be a Gursikh, they consider themselves to be a Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. You consider yourself to be a follower of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji. There's lots of people in this world that say, well, I classify myself as a Sikh. But Pyareo, my beloved brothers and sisters, I don't mean this in a harsh way. I mean this to encourage you. Japji Sahib, if you do not have it memorized, that Sikh that considers themselves to be a follower of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that does not memorize memorize Japji Sahib, that person, Tandul bin tuk kaam keh, taise Sikh ko cheen. Meaning, that person will never have their affairs solved. No matter what they do, they are a hypocrite. That person is a Pekhi Sikh. Whoever doesn't read Gurbani, doesn't read Japji Sahib on a daily basis, and keep in mind, if you read Japji Sahib every day for a few months, you will automatically begin to memorize it. It's very easy to memorize. You read it, you recite it, it automatically starts through muscle memory and through your memory of your brain, it automatically starts sitting on your tongue. Without even realizing, you automatically start reciting the next line and the next line. 4-year-old children do it. You say socha soch na hovai, they say je sochi lakhwar. 4-year-old children can do it. And if you're in your teens, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, if you're in your 70s, and you're making the excuse, well, I can't memorize it, it's just not possible for me, that's you being lazy. Garb Ganjani Tika is saying that person who does not memorize Japji Sahib, none of their tasks in their life can be fulfilled. Their affairs never come into place. They always feel like life is falling apart. Now, if you feel life is falling apart for you, you must read Japji Sahib. Here are some other things that great Mahampurkh said about Japji Sahib. Japji Sahib is the cure to all your depressions and anxieties. And I felt this in my own life. If I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling that my life is kind of falling apart, I don't have hope in life, I focus on Japji Sahib. I read Japji Sahib 5 times. Truly, I feel rejuvenated. I feel like a blossom inside of my heart. You read it, you continue to read it. Now somebody might say, well, I'm in such a state, I don't have the ability to go and learn Japji Sahib. Then listen to Japji Sahib, read the meanings. Automatically, I can say to you that if you do follow these steps, one pauri, one stanza at a time, even just Mool Mantar is just a few words. If you recite Mool Mantar and continue forward with this Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji even considered Japji Sahib to be their Mala Mantar, which means something that you recite on your rosary again and again and again and again. When we read into the lives of great Mahampurkhs, they used to read Japji Sahib as if it was their job, as if that was the task of the day. They would read it 20 times, 50 times, no matter how many times, 125 times great saints would recite it. Now that actual counting, it actually goes infinite when somebody dives into that Japji Sahib. Each and every one of their thoughts, their thought, the rosary of their thoughts, the mind is weaving through Japji Sahib. So they could be reading without even you noticing. They could be reading hundreds of thousands of Japji Sahib without you noticing. That's the power of it. Look how much power, all the power of great saints, Singhs and Singhani, of Shaheeds, of martyrs of the past. All of their power was derived from Japji Sahib. You want to read Japji Sahib as much as you can. Japji Sahib, like I was saying, it has the power to cure your depressions and anxieties, to rejuvenate you. Along with this path, if you feel that, your life you're feeling that you're moving away from Guru Sahib, you're not feeling Guru Sahib's blessings, sit down, do ardas and begin reading Japji Sahib with true love. If you're able to read it, if you've been able to read it and learn it, and you've taken santya of it, then go forward and begin memorizing it. It's very simple. You have 20-minute, 15-minute drive to work. If you have Japji Sahib memorized, then you can read Japji Sahib there. You can recite Japji Sahib. You have a 15-minute walk from your workplace to where you eat lunch. Recite Japji Sahib. You're waking up in the morning, you're waiting for the bus. 15 minutes, recite Japji Sahib. You're cooking food. You're supposed to be cooking food. That's what the meaning is. While you make Kada Prashadi Deg, while you make Prashad according to Guru Sikh Rahat Maryada, you read Japji Sahib. When you make the rest of your food, you should be reciting Gurbani. You have 10 minutes to make your sandwich. You have 15 minutes to make your prashada, your roti. You should be reciting Japji Sahib. No matter what you do. You know, people spend so much time sitting and just waiting. And if you're sitting in quarantine today, you're sitting in isolation, I'm so bored. I guarantee you, you can soar in these experiences, these heavenly divine experiences of Japji Sahib, and you'll never feel bored. These Guru Sikhs that read Japji Sahib all day, maybe one Japji Sahib for hours and hours of the day, they just get stuck in it. They just get stuck in the Sach, Jugaad, the Sach. They can't move forward because they're experiencing that bliss. You're not going to get it through Netflix. You're not going to get it through YouTube. You're not going to get it through any of these means of, WhatsApp or Instagram or TikTok. No. Japji Sahib is your life as a Guru Sikh. If Guru Gobind Singh Ji Sache Pacha came to you and they said to you, you need to read this thing every single day for the rest of your life as much as you can, that would probably mean it's pretty important. That's what Guru Gobind Singh Ji did. They said, now let's focus on historical aspects. When Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sache Pacha, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sache Pacha, in the last moments of their life, after they got up, after the tatti tavi, after the hot plate, they sat on a place near the edge of River Ravi, near Lahore. And when they sat there, they had 5 Guru Sikhs in front of them. They closed their eyes and they recited Japji Sahib themselves. When they recited Japji Sahib right before they passed away, not only did they recite it themselves, then they had 5 Guru Sikhs in front of them. We can look at them as Panj Pyare. These 5 Guru Sikhs names are Bhai Bidya, Bhai Jetha, Bhai Langaha, Bhai Purana and Bhai Peda. These 5 Guru Sikhs, they each recited Japji Sahib. Guru Arjan Dev Ji listened to Japji Sahib 5 times after they recited it themselves. When they listened to it 5 times, Pyareo, after that, then the historical accounts happened when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sache Pacha left their physical body. When we focus on the accounts of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Pacha, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, when they were reciting this Japji Sahib to Bhai Lerna Ji, who became Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second Guru, when they were giving them the pothi that had Japji Sahib in it, they said that this Japji Sahib is the absolute truth. They say that person who reads this Japji Sahib, it is the greatest profit that they can earn in this life. They say that all of their vashnas, all of their doubts in their mind, they all get relieved. They become a true worthy person to be able to walk this path of spirituality. They can dive deep in. So that's why I'm saying that this Japji Sahib is not only for Guru Sikhs. If you're a Guru Sikh, it's mandatory. We should be able to do parchar, spread this message of Japji Sahib to all corners of the world, to all faiths. Everybody has something to learn from this Japji Sahib. Take the meanings, do research of it, dive deeper into it, recite it with love. Teach it to your friends at work. Teach it to every children in your household. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Pacha, they say that this Japji Sahib when you recite it, you should also have the power to be able to listen to it daily as well. This should be implemented into your household. That person that recites this Japji Sahib, they should wake up early in the morning. They should sit savdhan hoke. Not just lay down and then, or maybe sit in the toilet or sit in the shower, while they're reading Japji Sahib. No, savdhan, get ready. This is why there's the Maryada of the Khalsa. That Gursikh ties the dastar, sits cross-legged, closes their eyes. They're all prepared. And Mampurk has even told me, try to sit at the same spot every single day when you do your Nityanem, where you can sit with your back straight. So if your bed is something that bends your back, just sit on a place that has a hard surface. Sit with your back straight so you can become savdhan, you can become ready. You're prepared mentally, physically, and then you read Japji Sahib after that. You gain lots of powers, spiritual, physical. All the doubts in your life go away because of these things. Then when we look at the accounts of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, when they were teaching the Khalsa Panth, they said to the Khalsa Panth 3 times, they said, this is the ultimate jewel. This is the ultimate jewel. This is the ultimate ratan, the ultimate jewel in this life. Japji Sahib is. They said to the Khalsa Panth that what you need to do is take Japji Sahib, implement into your life, and in your own households, make it mandatory that this is the first thing that your child learns. We try to teach our children so many things. Yay, they learned their ABCs. Now next time, don't you sing with me. But it should be, now you have Japji Sahib memorized. Now you don't need me to help you recite it again. That's what it should be in the Khalsa Panth. Every father, that should be their job. The first thing that they teach their child is Japji Sahib. As a mother, the first thing that you teach your child is Japji Sahib. That's how you can guarantee. This is the hukam of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Sache Paatshah. This Japji Sahib itself, reciting it, you become one with the Khalsa Panth. This is where the Khalsa Panth, the army of truth, it receives their nectar, receives their juice. So that's why Guru Gobind Singh Ji even said that Guru Nanak Dev Ji came into this world just to give this Japji Sahib. That's the power of it. All Gurbani, you can look at the meanings in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, in Sri Dasam Granth, in Sarblo Granth, Bhai Gurdas Ji Avara Kabit Savaiye, Bhai Nandalal Ji, all of these things, and even in historical accounts, everything will in some way or not. Maybe you might be thinking, well, no, it doesn't. How does it relate back? But if you look into it spiritually with depth and you dive deeper within it yourself, you will see a way that all of Japji Sahib, all of Gurbani connects back to this origin. It's not difficult. Do prachar of it, memorize it. And pyareo, if such a time comes in this life of yours, where your apps that you read Nityanem from, maybe electricity isn't available one day. How are you going to charge your phone and rely? If that day comes when you don't have access to Gutka Sahibs, when you don't have access to the scriptures, the physical scriptures, how will you be able to live your day and draw this energy from this Bani? Only if you have it memorized. Kant karna, have it on your kant, meaning have it memorized in your throat. So intuitively you can recite it wherever you want. Have the meanings going throughout your thoughts. Have the ability to teach Japji Sahib from every laga matar. Not just Satanam Karta Purkha, you know it, but is there a Seyari after the Tatta? Is there actual line Sate Nam? You should be able to write out Japji Sahib. As if a time comes, you have it memorized, but you're not able to write it properly with every Onkar, every Seyari, every little factor, then that's not fully memorizing it. Make sure these things are there, because these times might come. Great saints, great Mampurks, and in writings that we read today, it's written that all of these things will disappear for us one day. If you have Japji Sahib memorized, you can truly be liberated of your pains in this life, and then even in the times to come to in the future, you can pass this on. You can pass on this priority of Japji Sahib to the rest of the Khalsa Panth in the future, to the rest of the world, in fact. So pyareo, that's why it's absolutely important to begin walking this staircase, these stairs to enlightenment. It is the root, it is the origin. You have to. No day in the life of a Sikh, of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, if you consider yourself a Sikh, should go without reading Japji Sahib. If not all Panjbani, well, that's of course, if you're Amritari, you have to be reading all Panjbani in the morning, you have to be reading Rahla Sahib, you have to be reading Kirtan Soila. Outside of that, you want to be doing your Sahaj part, you want to be memorizing as much Gurbani as possible. But Japji Sahib, Guru Sahib says that you not only want to memorize it, but you want to do it as much as possible. If you have the ability to read it 30 times a day, read it 30 times a day. Make a goal that I want to discipline myself 10 times, 20 times. As soon as you take one step towards the Guru Sahib will take thousands of steps towards you. Pyareo, this is my ardas, this is my request, that as the Khalsa Panth we prioritize Gurbani in our life. So while talking, while speaking, I've made many mistakes. I do ardas that Guru Sahib blesses me with the ability to dive deeper into this blessing of Japji Sahib as well. Iniyam bindiyam parwan karniya. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.